Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. Oh man, Lanny. Oh man, oh man,
Oh
oh
man,
man.
indeed.
In
Oh,
today's video, we are going to talk about a stock that dropped 14% on Thursday after it released earnings. Lanny, their dividend yield is now well over 5.5%. Man, oh man. Let's analyze this beaten down dividend stock today.
boy, watch out, guys. But smash that subscribe button. Give us a nice thumbs up. Rock with us here. It takes 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. Well over 20,000 subscribers. Let's keep climbing upwards, guys. But yeah, earnings release, earnings season. A lot of news happening right
Oh.
now. A lot of volatility in the stock market, especially when big news gets dropped about future guidance.
Yeah, and that's really what the key is. People aren't looking so much about the past of what happened with the result. Everything is looking on that forward guidance for almost every company, and that's what people are really reacting to. So this company we're talking about, the earnings in the fourth quarter and for the year were pretty solid. Actually, Lanny, when you look at the numbers, they were solid. But as you said, it's about what they said about 25 in the years beyond that has everybody spooked and sent shockwaves through Mr. Market.
The Shaka. Yeah. I mean, and that sent the stock tumbling over 14%, guys. This stock somehow still shows positive performance in the last 5 years. But they are 100 billion in market cap, guys, generating over 25 billion in revenue for the fourth quarter of 2024, earning over 3 billion in non-GAAP adjusted operating profit. Doesn't that all sound so rosy?
It sounds so great. What could possibly have gone wrong for this stock? So, who are we talking about today? UPS, United Parcel Services, ticker symbol UPS. Okay, UPS. Before we get to the news about going forward, let's just summarize and put that chart up there that you just covered, Lanny. You're absolutely right. This chart shows fourth quarter and year to date. So yeah, you're absolutely right. 25 billion in revenue in Q4, 91 billion over the year. Both showed signs of growth. So yeah, it was strong margin growth for fourth quarter. Operating margin decreased in the full year. Operating profit went down. That's really what you're seeing. The year results weren't as great, but they had a very, very strong fourth quarter.
Yeah, they did. They
That's
had a
it.
strong fourth quarter. I mean, but again, domestic revenue was up slightly, a couple percent. They did beat EPS estimates, 275 versus 253, solid, and over
Yeah,
they beat $2.47 a year ago.
yeah,
Um,
crushed it.
but Bert, it's
That's
not about 2024. Remember, it's
no.
about 2025 and beyond.
Yeah. So let's talk about they gave a little bit of a guidance update here. They said full year revenues are going to be 89 billion. That is down or fell short of what people were expecting. People were expecting 94.9 billion. Put a pin in that, landing. We're going to come right back. I can tell you where that's coming from. They're planning their operating margin to be about 10.8%. Pull up, and if you look back at that chart, they were in operating margins of 12% in the fourth quarter. They were in operating margins of 9.8% at the end of last year for the non-GAAP margin. So more of the same, lower margins for next year like they were
Lower
this
revenue, lower margin, not a good
year.
mix.
No, free cash flow of 5.7 billion. They're planning capex of 3.5 billion, dividend payments of 5.5 billion, share repurchases of around a billion if the board approves it, and probably the board's going to approve it after that stock price just fell another 14%. You want to buy those shares back when that price is down.
Yeah, buy it all right now, guys. So, Bert, UPS. Yes, yes, yes. And what big client are they trying to peel themselves away from?
Amazon, ticker symbol AMZ. Amazon. We've all known this has been probably one of the more talked about theories and stories of what could potentially come for UPS and what was one of their biggest business risks. The biggest business risk was you saw those Amazon Prime delivery trucks in your neighborhood taking over so much of the business that UPS would just fall and they would fold and they would collapse. What happened though? UPS was like I guess you should say it depends on which version of the story you want to believe. So I'll put it there. Management from UPS is saying they notified Amazon they're planning to cut down their Amazon business, so their largest customer, by 50% in 2026. So you're going to see a massive cut for their largest customer and their largest revenue because it wasn't
Why?
really why low margins, high volume, low margins. So they're saying we're going to take control of our own future. We're going to right size the rest of our income statement, sacrifice that revenue, build up those margins, and focus on what you can control. Because with Amazon, UPS ain't calling the shots, Lanny. Amazon's telling UPS what the price is, what to do, and how to do it. And they are saying, take these or we're just going to go ourselves. And that's pretty much it. That's the pro UPS side of it, I should say.
What's interesting too, I do a lot of reselling on eBay. I've actually been shipping a lot out with UPS. They somehow been a little bit cheaper
Yeah.
than USPS somehow.
Yeah, certain things are trying to corner that little market there. What can UPS take away from? Question is though, or did UPS just see the writing on the wall, take the control of this narrative for themselves? This is the more conspiracy theory of like what you want to believe, and just say Amazon's getting ready to pull the rug out, so we're going to take the shot first and save face. I think you could convince me either one of those stories are plausible, but good for UPS. They have a plan. In that guidance, they're trying to save another $1 billion in cost savings next year too to go along with that. So
Just a
sure,
billion.
sure, we can't live off of Amazon. We're going to try and control it ourselves and become our own independent shipping thing.
So that's UPS, guys, down 14%, down below $115 a share at 114.90 as of January 30th here, almost to close out the end of the month because we are filming this on late Thursday evening, guys. So, Bert, we're going to run them through the metrics. We're going to run through the DD stock screener. We're going to see UPS through the price to earnings ratio, the payout ratio, their dividend growth, and now their dividend yield. As you mentioned, swelling up well over 5%. And is UPS a stock to buy right now, or is there too much risk for us to pass on?
Yes. All right. So their price, 114.90, forward earnings per share, $8.52. Then both that's right about the same for Seeking Alpha and in Yahoo Finance, because I had to do some skeptical. It's about annualized earnings from last year. It's actually conservative when you compare it to annualized earnings in the fourth quarter of 275. With that said, that gives you a price to earnings ratio of 13.49x.
So obviously the PE ratio is low. Now,
Yes.
granted, obviously you have to still consider and take in all of these other factors into consideration, lower revenue, lower margin going forward. So, but as Bert said, if they reported 275 in earnings for the Q4, then you would have extrapolated that and been at around $11 in earnings for a year. So being at 852, yeah, sure, that seems about right. But Bert, what about that dividend payout ratio? Is it safe or is there some risk there?
Well, let's find out. Their annual dividend is $6.52. That gives you a payout ratio of 76%. So I guess this goes into I guess I could say, that's going to be the theme of this video. It can go two different ways. What story do you want to believe? Do you believe with Amazon leaving, they can hit this $8.52 earnings per share? If so, payout ratio is above 60%, but there's still a little cushion to go before it reaches 100%. You face that dividend cut. But if you don't believe in that and you're saying they're going to get crushed next year, and let's just say they missed by $1, so that gives you $7.50, that increases the payout ratio to 87%. And then you start getting into the question of, are we just going to have to cut the dividend to fix the business, which is what happened with so many of these other companies, that payout ratio climbed towards 100%. So, I don't know. I don't want to say, yes, it's safe. No, it's not safe. That's a tough one.
Well, let's get into the dividend growth. So 11 years, 5.5% growth. Guys, don't expect much dividend growth going forward. I'd be stunned if they still wanted to increase the dividend here in 2025.
I would agree. We already said the yield is 5.67%. So that's UPS. We're going to put the metrics up here. The question is, are they that stock to buy right now? I own 55 shares. Lanny, I know you own more.
I own a ton.
Yes, I forgot how many shares I own. So I'm like, maybe I'll buy like 5 or 6 if that gets me to 100 so I can write options on it. Then I'm like, I'm not investing 45 shares in UPS right now. That's not what I am doing. So am I buying? No. Am I selling? No. I'm just going to let it drip. I'm going to gather shares at this price. I'm going to keep a very close eye on what's going to happen in Q1. Read more about how they're going to wean themselves off of Amazon. Let's give it a quarter. Let's give it 2 quarters to see how that's tagging along, and then I'll decide to cut bait later on. That's how I'm viewing it. The UPS. What do you think?
I am not a buyer of UPS right now. I'm a holder, and then I'm, unfortunately, a wait and see. See if the stock price rebounds a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, we'll have to see what the market says.
Yes, this one would be one of those ones, Lanny. If there is an aggressive jump up in price, this would be one where I definitely consider exiting and just seeing what else I can do. So everyone, let us know, what do you think about UPS right now? Are you buying UPS after they dropped 14%? Are you buying UPS now that yield is 5.6%? Let us know in that comment section below.
Guys, keep investing, keep saving, build dividend income. Let us know what other stocks you're buying right now during this hot earnings season, the first earnings season here of 2025, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and Bert, hit him with that sweet chin music.
You're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats, over and out.